He's going. We'll just going up to cattle yards. I've got a setup up there for like with a water tank. That's a pod with a bathtub, and it's just got a toilet float in it. I'll show you when I get up there. And the pod sits out in the weather sort of all year round, and I know they're not expensive, but I'm pretty sure I've seen people around the place wrap a bit of shade cloth around them, and I think it's just to prolong the life of them a little bit so that UV doesn't bugger them up so fast. So I found some old shade cloth, and it's still blowing a gale, so I can't spray. So I'm going to go up there and we'll wrap this thing up with shade cloth. I've got some zippy ties here and stuff, and Lucy's coming along to give me a hand, haven't ya? Come here. She loves it, hanging out with me. So we'll go up there and I'll show you the setup that we've got there. It's pretty very basic, but it works well, and it's 1,000 litres, and it'll last 3 or 4 days. Like when we get the steers in, when we buy them in, we've got to keep them in the yards for a good at least week and feed them and stuff like that to quieten them down. Even sometimes then they're still wild as, but yeah, we could try and keep them in there for a minimum a week and give them their injections and everything, you know, and so they need water obviously and plenty of feed. And this is the setup. I'll show you the setup is in a minute. We're almost up there. It won't take a minute. So this is it here, just a pod, and it's built up on I don't know, I guess that's two boards high down there. It's a base, just got some road base in it, and I'll turn it around here. And I just bought that fitting off of eBay. Goes down to a tap connector. It's just a piece of hose, runs along here, and obviously that's higher than the bathtub. The bathtub's got a float in it, and it's just a toilet float. Works well. Only one problem with it is I cannot find a plug, because this is a really, really old bathtub. Look how deep it is, holds heaps of water. And I can't find a plug big enough to fit that plug hole, so I use a piece of rubber. And when you're moving the steers or whatever it is you're moving around in here, they hit the tub, and believe it or not, it moves, and then the water does seep away out of it after they've bumped it a few times. But other than that, the system works really well. So I'm going to get the shade cloth out, and we're going to wrap this up so that we can get a bit more life out of it before the sun really rips in. It's been sitting here for a while now. I might even pull it down and we'll level out some of this stuff a bit. Oh yeah, I've got a bit of wood under there so that the water flows to the front. I'll just spin that around and make it look a bit neater. We'll be good. I'm not going to film doing it. Basically wrapping shade cloth around a pod. I'll film it once it's done. Now there's two. Isn't there? Little Rose came down for a look. There it is. It's a bit rough, but just to keep the sun off it, and just a piece of shade cloth I had laying around. The mouse had made nests in it from when we had a mouse plague earlier in the year, and to be honest with you, it stinks like mouse urine. But yeah, covered it up on top. I can still get the cap off. So we used to run water down from our house tanks to this, but I've got plenty of water down at the bottom tanks, and now that we've got the firefighting unit, I can bring water up and just pump it straight into here, and yeah, we'll fill up the bathtub. And when we've got steers in here, and we've got some plans for these yards too. Like I probably should run a piece of gutter and off of there and a pipe across and straight into here, rather than, you know, even though it's only 1,000 litres, it's better than nothing. But I've got some old guttering down there. I might even do that, but I want to put a one of those block walls in here at the other end there to push the cattle through for when Jode and I are here working them by ourselves, and make life a bit easier for ourselves. Because once you get them in there, the hardest part's getting them to go down that race. But that'll be another video for another day. So I've sprayed a couple of tanks of Lantana killer out this morning, and it's blowing a gale now. It was actually blowing a little bit when I did the last of the second tank, so But it's starting to make a difference. It seems to be working well, that stuff. I did do a quick video, but I will show you the name of it. It's a funny name, and it's a copy of a real popular brand, but it works well. But anyway, I've got to service the Hilux, and I went to buy some filters and stuff for it, and this time for some reason I went to Repco, and I said to go an air filter, oil filter and a diesel filter for the Hilux, you know, and he's like, oh yeah, and he comes walking back out with this box, and I didn't know that Repco did them. So if you haven't seen him before, I don't get nothing for this, but I just think it's so cool that, you know, you can get your service kit, and yeah, we'll have a quick look and see what's inside it. So yeah, when the guy came walking out with it, he said to me that these were becoming really popular with blokes that service their own cars. So I said, oh, give us one. But, so there's your washer for your oil plug bung, a pair of rubber gloves, a rag, wow, a funnel, that'll be the fuel filter. It says fuel filter on it. Oil filter. Here's the air filter. Perfect. So yeah, I normally go to Super Cheap and get all my stuff, but I think I'll be going to Repco now, and I'm normally going through the, you know, never remember the numbers of the filters and all that, and go through them, order them all and get them all separately. But all that there, the 3 filters and stuff was $80, which I don't know that you're going to do any better than that buying it all singularly anyway. So yeah, I just think it's good, nice and easy. Walked in and walked out with that box. There's everything I need. I just got the oil. I buy my oil in bulk, so yeah, I've got the oil down the shed there, and tomorrow morning I'll change the oil, and we just come back from town, so it'll be way too hot for me to work on it. So, but yeah, I just thought I'd show you that. I think it's real handy. So it's New Year's Eve. Not going too hard today on the cooking side, so we're just doing some chicken wings. We'll do them on the Weber. We've got some fiery buffalo seasoning and some barbecue southern style chicken. This is Joe's favorite. But there's a little trick to this, and that's to throw a little bit of baking soda in with those rubs, and that'll make the outside of the chicken go nice and crispy. So if you're ever doing that, so I throw it in a bag. I'll put a tablespoon of baking powder and like a tablespoon of whatever I'm using, because I'm only got, like, you know, a few wings in each, so because we're going to do half hot and half southern style chicken. So yeah, but throw a little bit of baking powder in, and yeah, when you chuck them on the grill, or even if you just on a normal barbecue or whatever, or in the oven, it'll make them get that nice crispy coating on the skin. Beautiful. Happy days. So easy. 1, 2, 3. I'm gonna do 4. I'll get a smaller one. 4. That's 3 tablespoons of the buffalo. You can shrink that down to make it zoom back. Buffalo seasoning, which is that one, and 1 tablespoon of the baking powder. Right. Done. You don't need to wash your chicken and carry on and all that, right? It's clean. Get the air out. Throw in the fridge. Now we'll do this one. This will be like the same. probably 2 tablespoons and 1 bacon powder. Mix it up. Bacon powder. So you probably put a little bit too much in that. But I'll sprinkle what's left. Or we can sprinkle them again with some of this when they're on the grill. I'm just going to put these in the Weber, the coal fire Weber, not the gas Weber. But you want to let them sit for about half an hour if you can. And absorb that flavour in the fridge. Easy. Okay, so we're going indirect. I don't even know. Does anyone cook on these things direct? So there's basically a basket on each side with hot coals. She's come up the temp. We put the chicken wings in the seasoning and they smell. I wish there was smell-o-vision because they smell amazing just like that. So we'll get these on the grill. Easy. Indirect. That's hot. Move them over a bit. As long as they're not right on top of the coals, they'll be fine. I'm spewing there's not 8. I don't want to waste all that good seasoning. Do we? Alright, we're going to give them 15 minutes. I'm going to turn them over. And you know what? Cooking chicken like this is good on the grill, but I think that cooking it in a pan with, like, if we were to just throw that pan on there, how they were sitting in there, would have been almost as good. But so you just got to make sure you don't overcook it and make it too dry when you're cooking on the grill. So we'll give them 15 minutes, we'll turn them over, we'll give them another 15 minutes. Hopefully they'll be done. So check it out, the wings are done. We've got the buffalo on the left-hand side and the southern style chicken on the right-hand side. So it took about an hour. You know, you want to make sure your chicken's cooked, but there's no oil, no fat, nothing. That's just bacon powder and seasoning. And it'll season, the fat will come out of the chicken and season itself, you know. So yeah. Just happy days. Happy New Year, people. Good times. So we got a few flies popping up on these cows now as the weather's starting to warm up. They're steers. But then there's that one that had the problems with the flies there the other week, and we put Sedectin Poron on him. And it was good for about 2 weeks, but I've noticed that there's a few flies coming back on him. So I've got this other stuff here, and we're going to put him quickly through the yards. If I can get him in there, I've got a bucket of feed here for him, and I'm not going to go chasing him around in the motorbike or anything like that. And yeah, we'll throw some of this other stuff on. I'll give you a quick look at what we're using. That's what we're using this time. I need to get moving before they take off anyway. So we got them all in the cattle yards, which was pretty uneventful. Didn't have to chase them around on the quad bike or anything, which makes it even better. So I'll just run them all through the chute. Geez, they're so much bigger now than the last time we had them in here. And throw a bit of this fly stuff on them. They look good. Get some feed into these first, let them settle down a little bit before I start working them. Strong stuff, 15 mil. See, it wasn't too painful, was it? I think he was the one trying to get under the gate. See, so this is the steer that we've had the problems with the flies. He's not real happy about being in the chute. His neck is actually looking a fair bit better, but still not great, and he's still got red sores around his eyes, so that tells me that the flies, I can see flies on him there right now. So the Sedectin only works for a couple of weeks on flies. It's better for worms and stuff, so we'll give him a heap of some of this stuff, and that should fix him right up. Along with those ones up there already done. I've just got these ones here to go. That's still recording. We on? So this is the last three, and believe it or not, they just walk themselves straight into the chute. So unbelievable. Like, you're messing around. A couple of them a little bit high-headed. One of them just tried to jump out of the crush. You get that? That's it, they're all done. January, it's getting hot. They're starting to get some buffalo fly on them. And they eat them. And they get in the corners of their eyes and they chew all the corners of their eyes out. It's horrible. He hasn't got any on him this year. But it'll happen in the next month if we don't treat them. You can see the little flies on them. Those little tiny flies, they're the culprits. And they're not good. Hopefully we can just do him here. I don't have to put him in there. We can just let all these ones go. This guy going at me. 15 mil of swat. The black ones seem to cop it worse than the lighter coloured ones for some reason. Another thing, something we'll never ever do again, don't use yellow ear tags. They attract flies. Yellow, the colour yellow attracts flies. You buy fly paper, it's yellow. You buy a fly trap, it's got a yellow top on it. You're attracting flies to your cattle by putting yellow ear tags in, and this is the last of the yellow ear tags for us. We're going blue and pink for the girls. So yeah, just a thing that I noticed that we're all, and heaps of people in Australia use yellow ear tags, and we're attracting flies to them. They're all done. Fly free. But But they're two of our quietest. That's why they just walked in the chute, isn't it? Now you go the other way. You want the food now, don't you? I'll give him some. See if they eat it. Come on. Come on. Come on. They're going up the others. Give this to the girls. Right, just got done servicing the old Hilux with the Repco service kit. There it is, down there. Perfect, 80 bucks. So she's good for another, I don't know, I do it between 5 and 10, usually around 7,000. The oil that we're putting in these things is way better these days. This is the oil that I use. That's the stuff. I buy that in 20 litre drums, and yeah, I think it's good oil. I've used it in my Land Cruisers and all sorts. So anyway, that's going to do this video. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you on the next one.